Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Anastasia here. Usually I post videos about Paris, friends, studies and careers abroad, and this video is a little bit special. I went on a trip to New York, and in this one I would like to share with you my highlights and impressions of that trip. So let me take you to Upper East Side and let's go see New York. Guys, I made it. Just got out of the metro and I think this is Central Park. That's it, I made it. I got totally lost in the metro and I think this is Central Park. And I'm here in New York. By the way, my very first meal in New York, my highlight number one, is authentic tacos from Queens. The best tacos you would ever taste here, apparently. No, just kidding, that's not my main highlight, but it was one of the highlights. Seriously, my highlight number one is visiting the Empire State Building. First of all, it's a very important landmark in the history and architecture of New York. And the museum inside actually does a great scenography explaining how it was built and why it was so important. And from there you can see all the city, and you can also get better its geography and find your way on Manhattan. You can see the uptown, the downtown, where's the Central Park, where's the different skylines and different sides of the city. And so this is amazing, and I'm really glad I did it in one of the first days of my trip here. Next, I geek out on art, and especially classic art, and especially European and Renaissance paintings. So, of course, I went to the Metropolitan Museum, which is one of the major and most important museums here in New York. It's huge, and I would definitely recommend you planning your visit and defining your priorities and what you would like to see, because it's just impossible to see everything, pretty much as the Louvre back in Paris. There are also always some exceptional exhibitions in the Met. And it's included in your ticket, and there's actually not a lot of line contrary to the Louvre, so you can just take it there on the spot. Since the Met is right next to the Central Park, you can stroll through the park before or after visiting the museum, and it's definitely one of the most important things to do in New York. Central Park is the heart of the city. It's beautiful, it's really big. You can see all the New Yorkers walking, running around, or having their lunch, or just relaxing. It's a beautiful place, and I definitely recommend you to go there, stroll around and see the squirrels. We just got out of the Central Park, and I got a part of my New York trip that is totally carioca, because my friend here is Brazilian, and we started today with pão de queijo. Good. Yeah. I went through the whole Central Park. And now we are going down this avenue that you can see right there to go to the village.
Uno! Crash! Got 33, Rob. Push it down. Out. 20 out. 20 time out. There you go.
Another highlight and another artistic neighborhood, so to say, is the West Village. It's very different from the rest of New York, from the rest of Manhattan, from all the skyscrapers you see in the financial district or uptown. And it definitely does look like a village, and it's adorable. I really love that neighborhood. It used to be the place where creative people and artists would live, and it's kind of unaffordable today. And the people say Anna Wintour lives there. And it's the same place where you can find the apartment from Friends and apartment of Carrie Bradshaw. Although in the series, she apparently lives in Upper West Side, or in Upper East Side, and she has rent control, that's why she can afford it. But the building where they filmed it is in West Village. And it's also a great place for having a nice dinner on a terrace or going for a jazz concert. We went to Small's Jazz Club, and for me it was something I couldn't miss in New York. I really love jazz, and New York City is extremely important in jazz history and in jazz scene. And since I try to go to jazz concerts in Paris a lot, I couldn't miss it in New York. So we went to the malls and it was wonderful. I definitely recommend booking a place there. Then in the Chelsea neighborhood, actually, there is a lot of art galleries. I visited it with my friend who knows a lot of galleries and who's much into it, and who gave me a little tour around. And I would definitely recommend seeing the Gatusan Gallery, the Dia, the Harpers, and other places with some impressive contemporary art. It changes all the time. You never know what you'll get, but you'll definitely get something that can amaze you again if you like art and if you're into it. So I definitely recommend that walk. And then from the Chelsea neighborhood, you can also walk towards the West Village. So I definitely recommend Chelsea art galleries if you are into art. To continue with the museums, another major place to see is, of course, the Museum of Modern Art, or the MoMA, on 53rd Street. There were a lot of paintings and art that made me feel a bit like home in Paris, because we had the artists that are very present in the Musée d'Orsay and in Centre Pompidou, and so the collection is really amazing. And if you're into modern art and contemporary art, you should definitely go see it. And if you're not, I'm still sure you will discover things that will impress you. So, for example, for me, it was a piece called Unsupervised, which is AI modeling of different art pieces that are present in MoMA, that are constantly recreating itself and changing. And it's impossible to explain, you really have to see it. It was very, very impressive. So I'm sure you can find something that would amaze you in Museum of Modern Art. My next top recommendation would be to take the boat tour from the Circle Line, or maybe any other tourist provider. I really like the classic one from the Circle Line. You can just take the regular ferry to see New York from the water. But I really enjoyed the tour because the guide was actually pointing out different spots and buildings and explaining stuff. And I took just a basic 1.5-hour tour that makes a U-turn from actually Midtown down south to the Battery Park, looking at the Statue of Liberty, of course, and then going up the East River to Brooklyn Bridge and Manhattan Bridge, and then going back. So it was an amazing day, great weather, and I've seen all the best views that you can get from the boats on New York, on the skyline, and it was actually a great way to see the city as well. After I got out from the boat, I went to the High Line. The High Line is like Coulée Verte in Paris. It's a walking road, like a walking street on the level of approximately like second floor. It has a lot of trees, a lot of green, goes through different beautiful buildings in from the Midtown down to downtown. And it's a very nice walk and a very New York thing to do. I really loved it. You can also see the Zaha Hadid building on the High Line and other important residential buildings in that neighborhood. Guys, I just made the High Line and I got down specifically for the Chelsea market because I'm planning to eat lobster in that awesome place. Let me show you. Then, other highlights to do are definitely the famous bridges, the Brooklyn Bridge and the Manhattan Bridge. It's very touristic, it's full of tourists, but I would definitely recommend you going through the Brooklyn Bridge by foot to go from Manhattan to Brooklyn, and then have a look at the skyline from there and take a famous picture of the Manhattan Bridge and walk around, have a little break in the Time Out Market, grab a bite, and then go back to Manhattan if you want. I didn't have a lot of time in Brooklyn. I didn't really visit that neighborhood, so I'll keep it for the next time because I mostly stayed in Manhattan. Finally, one more thing I would definitely recommend you to do is getting a bike ride.
Hey guys, today is my pre-last day in New York and I decided to go on a bike ride, and I'm right now driving from the Upper West Side up down to downtown to see Battery Park, and you can see there's a very nice park around me, and I cannot film on the way because it's dangerous. See you down there.
It's very easy to navigate in Manhattan, and it's very easy to get a bike. You just need an app that is called City Bike, and you just scan an available bike, and that's it. Do not forget to put your bike back and change bikes sometimes, because that way would be much cheaper. I didn't think about it. I drove for like 90 minutes and I paid $22 for a 90 minutes ride. So don't forget about this and enjoy your bike ride. You could do, for example, all the Riverside Drive, go down to Battery Park, or bike around Central Park. You can have wonderful bike rides, so definitely do it. It's a great way to explore the city. So guys, that's it for my recommendations in New York. I know it's quite short and I haven't seen a lot of things that I would like to do another time, and I'll be glad if you give me your recommendations in the comments. I hope you like this video, and I'm preparing another one where I'm talking more about the lifestyle in New York and comparing it to Paris. So once this video is ready, I will put it into the comments here, and I hope you will enjoy both of them. Thank you, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in other videos from Paris. Bye!